And in this episode, potentially some relationship advice. How can I balance prioritising my health without causing tension in my relationship?
It's whatever works for you and your partner, isn't it? What you enjoy.
Exactly.
Whatever you fancy.
Yeah, whatever you fancy doing, Welcome back to The Conversation, where we're breaking barriers, building confidence and changing lives with the Let's Chat Girls podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Gem, it's our favourite time of the week. It's diet to dilemma time.
Oh, I love this time of the week.
We need a jingle. I feel like you're a singer. We should, you had your little 5 minutes of fame in the dance and house scene in the early 2000s. I feel like we need a good jingle. Or if you're listening and maybe you are a amateur music producer, get in touch.
Help us out. Yeah.
It would be good.
To be fair, you could sing one when we've got our mic sorted, when I'm not using the dance.
I can't sing anything.
Yeah, but you can, we can auto-tune it. It'd be fine.
I could maybe be like, do, 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 do. I could do like that. But I can't sing. Not a chance. Okay. Not happening. Okay. But Diet of Dilemmas is here, and what we can do is offer you advice and offer some reassurance, some guidance, and in this episode, potentially some relationship advice. So, let's see. We haven't had a relationship question in a long time, and relationships play a huge part in your weight loss, right? Because so many of us will have maybe partners that don't understand, or they've seen us diet again and again and again and again. So they've got preconceived ideas about it. And this diet is having a little bit of difficulty with their partner. So let's get into it and see what they say.
Good one.
So, hi, Gemma and Rach. I've been doing really well on plan. But since starting my weight loss journey, my partner has been acting distant and making comments like, "You're fine the way you are. Why do you need to lose weight?" I feel like they're not supporting me, and it's starting to affect our relationship. I want to stay committed to my goals, but I also don't want to drive a wedge between us. How can I balance prioritising my health without causing tension in my relationship?
I feel like he's feeling a bit threatened, do you?
Yeah, I think...
And I've had this happen before with clients.
I have had this happen before, not with myself. Jamie couldn't have gone to monkeys, to be honest.
No, Jim was like, keep going.
Do whatever you want. But as long as the bum doesn't start going, in which case I think he would step in and be like, right, this has gone too far. But I think there's two things, right? You're right. I think some people genuinely feel a bit threatened. It's that whole, are you looking...
It's scary, change, isn't it? You might look different. You might be different. Like, you're not the person that I maybe fell in love with, or...
Well, and maybe there's some insecurity on their part. Like, it could be a case of, they felt a bit insecure in themselves. They see how good you're looking, you're feeling. And a lot of the time, it won't be how you're looking. A lot of the time, what is making them nervous or hitting their insecurity pain button is your confidence. Like, confidence 100%. Is so attractive. And if you suddenly become more confident, you want to go out and do more things, then they can start to question the need that you have for them. Where do they sit in this life anymore? Because they maybe don't feel like they match that, or that they're good enough, or whatever it is. And I think the other side of it is that some people are just creatures of habit. Some people just don't like change. Regardless of what the change is, it's not actually about your weight or your weight loss or any of that. It's just that they don't want things to change from how they are. They're very comfortable. It's very settled, and they don't maybe feel as comfortable, or it makes them a bit anxious to be like, what, are we going to be going out now at the weekends? That's
what I hear a lot. Like, oh, I really want to go out. We can never go out anymore when you're on that diet. That's what guys say. But actually, a lot of my clients, what they've been doing is really focusing on non-food social things, which is really rare in England. People don't know how to be social without food and drink. But I've got clients that will go out for a walk now with their other half, or even their friends. Actually, I feel like relationships can be partnerships, loving relationships or friendships as well, because it's quite similar. People don't like change. Friends don't like it when you're not coming out anymore. Meet them for a coffee and a walk. You can do that. One of my clients she did this trampolining thing with her husband, adult stuff, and they had the best time. She was like, oh my God, we had the best day, and we didn't eat or drink anything. And we reconnected and stuff. It's amazing. You just have to make the effort to do something different.
Yeah, it's so important to have that time together, but it's also important to realise you're not doing whatever you're doing because of the food. You want to spend time with each other, right? If you wanted just to eat, then he would be fine just eating on his own. He wants to spend time with you. So, look at some ways. I've just had a look for 5 non-food date night ideas to give us all some ideas. So you could go, like you said, well, they've made it quite romantic. So I don't know how this would play out if it was me and Jamie. I feel like these would be slightly different, but sunset or sun gazing walk. So head to a scenic spot for a sunset walk or stargazing.
Jim would love that. He'd be all over it. He gets me up early on holidays. Oh, God.
And, you know, take a coffee, take some tea, like, you know, just
you can
have
take
a
your
chat.
product. They can take a picnic if they're, you know, if they're eating something. Yeah.
That's, I like that idea.
I like that.
DIY home project or craft night. So choose a small home project or a creative DIY craft to work on together, like painting a canvas, building a puzzle, making home decor. That's quite cute.
And that's rewarding, isn't it? To see it in your house, you know, getting those jobs done that you want doing. Good idea.
Exactly. Game night challenge. Set up a fun game night with boards, cards, games, or even video games. Add some friendly competition. You know, you could
Outsmarted is a good game. We've got it. I've got it on my iPad. Yeah, it's so good. Like as a family game or as a couple, it's like general knowledge. It's really good.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a real fan of board games. Like me and Jamie, Chem and her husband will regularly have board game. Well, regularly, not anymore now I've got a child, but before Poppy or when she'd be asleep in the evening, we used to love a board game night. It was so fun.
Yeah.
So maybe you even like you join up with like other friends and like do it like combined. And you don't need to have food. Like our friends would come over like after we'd all eaten and we wouldn't like eat together necessarily. And
good idea.
Then you can just have the board game bit and have fun. Local event or live music. So check out local community events, open mic nights, small live music performances for relaxed, fun nights out. Jem, you love a bit of like a choir evening, don't you?
Oh, I know love it. Your friend's in a gospel choir,
isn't she?
Yeah, she actually just tagged me in a video the other day. They're touring in April and May. I was like, oh my God, get me booked in. I just love seeing live music. It makes me feel good. I'm seeing Craig David as well in February. I like to see him. He's amazing live. Just a concert. And I find I'd never drink and eat at a concert. I just go get a bottle of water, dance. It's just the best night ever. And actually you get your steps up as well.
That's it. Me and Jamie used to love live comedy. So we would go to like the Glee Club in Cardiff, or we would just go like somewhere else where people were performing. And again, like, don't get me wrong, you could look at that and be like, oh yeah, and we'll go for a meal before and we'll get. But
yeah, you can add all that on.
You don't have to do that. Like you can literally be like, right, instead of doing all that, I'm going to like get myself ready, make myself feel really good. We can eat before we go. You know, you can go out and have a soft drink or whatever, and you can still have an absolutely amazing night together. Then it doesn't have to revolve around food.
And the thing is, you have to do that, don't you, to learn that you didn't need the food and drink. Because I used to be very of the mind that, oh no, I need to drink and eat when I'm out. It's like, you know, I don't have fun unless I'm having a drink. But actually, until you've experienced it without, you'll never know. It's always about the people.
It is. And then adventure activity. So try something new together, like an escape room, axe throwing. That could be interesting. Indoor rock climbing, rage room. I feel like this list have got a particular type of couple in mind. Or a pottery class. For a fun and memorable experience. I love that idea. And I have seen online as well, you can get like date night apps. So if you like are looking for things to do together, you can like go on Google and there's companies that will send you like everything you need to do pottery painting at home.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
You know,
it's whatever works for you and your partner, isn't it? What you enjoy.
Exactly.
You know, whatever you fancy.
Yeah, whatever you fancy doing, you know. I'm sure there's more we could add to the list. And to be honest, you know, if you're feeling really good in yourself, maybe that's a good way to get them on board with how good this confidence is. But I think a lot of the time, when I have clients that are maybe struggling with this, friends that are struggling with this, then typically it's deeper than the fact you're losing weight, right? There's going to be something a little bit deeper that's causing it. And I think being able to have that conversation where you can ask in a really non-judgmental way, because I think so often when you sit down to have these conversations, you've already both got your backs up. You're already both super defensive because you're trying to hide the real reason it's annoying you. So uber defensive that you don't find out the real reason, even though we all normally know anyway. And just like opening up to them and just saying like what is it just about me losing weight that is, what is it you're worried about? What's the fear? Like, where does that come from?
That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah. Like, what are you worried about? Tell me how you feel and we'll try and work it out and change it, because you can't unless you've talked about it.
And it could be like Jamie, whenever I was on plan, he never said anything like this, but he had his like own worries. He's been really open on previous like podcast lives, like saying that, you know, I did worry, like, was what Rach was doing healthy? Was it just going to be the
Jim
kind
was
of weight
the same with me.
On? And I remember there was like a week on our calls where you just spoke to him and just said to him, like, it wasn't even intentional. He was just there. And I was saying, like, I feel really good. I don't know if he believed what I was saying. And so you just kind of explained, like, this is the plan. This is why it works. This is why it's healthy. If you've got any questions, like, you can always ask. Like, you can message me or get Rach to message me. And I think that's sometimes a good thing as well. Like, bring them in. Like, have you gone on this journey of your own weight loss? And, you know, even unknowingly put that barrier in place. You know, maybe they've been trying to get in, but you've not wanted to talk about it. you've not wanted to engage with anything. Maybe they've tried to put forward ideas to do things differently and you've pushed back because you've been you've been so focused on what you're doing. These things are rarely one-sided. So there is an element as well, I think, of going into that conversation, both being able to just accept what's being said. It's like that trend, you know, on TikTok when they go, we listen and we don't judge.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what you need to do. You need to say, we listen and we don't judge. Say how you feel and move past it. Because like I said, generally, it's nothing to do about your weight loss.
No.
It's something else. And if it is to do about your weight loss, it typically will be they're worried that you're going to maybe fall back into, you know, maybe they've seen you miserable. Maybe you've gone on diets before and they've seen the damage that it's done to you mentally. Or
they're worrying what's going to happen afterwards, isn't it? Because if you've been stuck in that yo-yo for a long time, it's like, you know, sometimes people don't see the point in you doing it again. Do you know what I mean? Because they just see it as, well, it didn't work last time. So, you know, why are we going through all of this when it's not going to change the outcome? But this time, hopefully, is different. I think you hit the nail on the head. Like for Jim, he had to know exactly what the plan was, and he likes to know all the details. So he was worried about me because he was just like, you can't just eat that. That's not normal. And because I had educated myself so much, but actually I hadn't told him any of it. I was just tunnel vision. This is what I'm doing. So you're right. You know, I put that barrier up straight away. I didn't want to talk to him about it because I was busy doing what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? Just accept it. And he was like, I don't know what you're doing. So,
they will word it in like that can't be healthy. And we naturally fire back defensively straight away with, it is healthy. You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know anything about it. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
But we don't actually talk about, do you want to know more about the plan? Do you want me to sit down? We can go through it together. Let's like chat and be open to the fact that, you know, what that person is, you know, if his concerns are what you're doing is not healthy, then approach it from a place of, okay, well, let's explore it together. And if when we've done that, it's not healthy, then of course I'm not going to keep doing it. And I will, you know, I'll take on board your feedback and the rest.
You're a team, aren't you? You need to communicate. That is the key, I think.
Communication is key. And the relationship guru himself, Jamie Walkinshaw McGuinness, once told me that when we had not long got together, and I decided to just ignore him for a day when he annoyed me. And then he said, we're not allowed to ignore each other. Have to talk.
Good boy. See, he knows.
I know. It is important though. And I think especially when you're doing something that is involving things like weight loss, we talk about it so much, don't we, when we're talking about like being able to break down shame or being able to release your ego, all of those things. It all comes down to being able to speak about what you're doing.
Yes,
so definitely. I don't think necessarily this is a, you know, oh, you need to leave him. He clearly doesn't support you, blah, 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 blah. Because I just don't ever think anything's that black and white.
No.
You need to, I feel like there's just not a conversation happening. I feel like you need to just chat. Let's look at our second question of the week.
Okay.
And this one is something I think so many people can relate to, looking at battling self-sabotage and excuses. Because I know so many of my clients that will say to me, I just feel like I can't stop self-sabotaging. I just keep self-sabotaging.
I hear that a lot, yeah.
And it's said from almost this, how do I word this? Not like victim mentality, but in a way that like, I've got no control. I just keep self-sabotaging.
That's what I've always done.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I can't. And I think that in itself is something that we'll explore now. Let's look at the question. So they say, hi, Gemma and Rach. I'm so frustrated because I want to stay on plan, but it's like my brain keeps finding excuses to come off it. I tell myself I've had a stressful day, or that one treat won't hurt, or I'll start fresh tomorrow. I know these are just excuses, but in the moment they feel so convincing. How do I stop this self-sabotage and stay focused on my goals?
Wow, that is so common, isn't it? I hear that a lot.
So common. And I think the fact that you know that they are excuses is a really big thing in itself. I feel like that definitely. In itself is very self-aware. It's the biggest first step, is knowing that my brain is kind of feeding me these excuses and I need something to help me get kind of over them. And I think a lot of it comes back to stuff that, you know, it's going to sound really boring, but it does come back to things that we talk about all the time. And I feel like to make sure that you're not letting those thoughts take over, a lot of it will come down to having that open like communication with your accountability, whoever that is, coach, consultant, whatever.
Yeah, because definitely.
If you are then having those thoughts come up, you can reach out to them and be like, Jam, I know this isn't right, but I keep having this stress. I've had a really stressful day. All I want to do is swing by the takeaway, blah, 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 blah. And then you can have a conversation about it.
Yeah, you
And
need that conversation.
I feel like
And the thing
that's
is,
the
that is probably the biggest thing I think that we work with our clients doing. I feel like that is it. That's the hardest part for people to overcome, because that is what they've always done. That's natural to them, you know, to have that urge and to just fulfill it because that's what you've always done. You told yourself you can have it. You told yourself you can do it. You start again tomorrow. That's exactly what you need to change. And it's not going to feel very comfortable the first few times. It's going to be really, really hard.
Because it almost feels like you are exposing such a private part of yourself, like exposing like this really like deep part of you to say like, I'm stressed and I want to turn to food, or I'm stressed and I want to binge. Like that can feel so like shameful and so difficult to talk about. But genuinely, the only way that we're going to be able to make any difference when it comes to being able to stop those thoughts is if you almost show those thoughts that there's no point you having a seat at the table, because you can come at me all you want, but they're not going to be acted on.
Yeah, you have to fight against them, bat them away. And it's all what you're saying to yourself in your head. That voice is so loud, isn't it? What it tells you to do. And
So
that's the part you've got to try and change the narrative in your mind, in your head.
That's it. Do you have like any like examples of clients that you've maybe worked with that have really struggled with that sabotage mentality and like how they've like, what is your normal, like if I would say to you now, Jam, I keep feeling like I'm self-sabotaging, I know I'm doing it, I don't know how to stop it.
Do you know, I would literally, this is going to sound really cheesy, exactly what you just said. You have made the first step. You've just told me that you're struggling for a start, and you told me what you think you're doing
has
wrong.
Become the master.
Yeah, but you're right though. It is, that first step is admitting that you feel like it's not right, or you want to change it, because you wouldn't be telling someone if you didn't want to change it. Do you know what I mean? And I think when that comes up in that conversation with me, that's when we go in. I'm like, right, we need to start being more positive. We need to start changing your mindset and the way you talk to yourself. And next time you're going to say to yourself, I want it, but I'm not going to have it this time. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to maybe replace that urge with another habit. For me, mine, I've said this many times, I had to change mine. I still have to do it and fight against it now sometimes. I have to go and make a pint of water, make a pint of tea, sit there for 10 minutes and do that first. And it just gives me 10 minutes to take myself away from that like real impulsive urge that I never used to be able to control. And I thought, but how do you control that? I don't know how to do it. Until I did it once, and I was like, I've done it. I've done it. Yeah. And as soon as you learn that it works, it gets easier. It actually, no, it doesn't get easier. It just gets more normal. I think you just realize how good you feel afterwards and you want to do it again.
That's it. I always think that with like when people talk about, it's like, you know, when you have those emotional eating cravings, like people will always like when they speak to me and they are emotional eaters and they know I am. And sometimes I think people get this misconceived idea that I'm cured and it isn't a problem. Yeah. It's like, no, it is a problem. And I do like, a problem's not maybe the right word. It's still something that makes me, right? It's still part of my
something
makeup.
You have to work on, isn't it? It's still something you're very aware of. Yeah.
But it's like, it doesn't take the same mental energy to manage it. Yes. And there's not that panic, because I know I've got a whole like bag of tools that I can bring out to help me manage it. And because I've implemented them.
Getting the tools. Yeah.
Because I've implemented them so many times, it feels much more natural to do it.
Yeah.
And so when I think sometimes we feel those feelings of like a sabotage thought comes in, or emotional eating or something, and our instincts to panic, because it's like, well, that's it now. Diet's over. Going to put it all back on. Yeah. Going to fail again. And even just like you said, being able to take 5 minutes to just breathe and let that panic calm down, you're going to give yourself a chance to think. And if then you can reach out in those moments and be honest about what you're thinking, that's when you're going to really start being able to rewire the way you handle those situations. So I think self-sabotaging is very common, but I think we need to change how we view it. Instead of thinking of as like, I keep self-sabotaging, which just makes it feel like a compulsion I can't control.
Yeah.
Instead, be curious, not furious with it, and think, okay, why is this happening? Is there something that's making this pop up? Is it, you know, we talked before about diva fever. Is it a lack of self-belief that you're going to have any success? Like, what is it that's kind of maybe causing that behavior to happen, or those thoughts to happen? And then having that conversation with someone to get the tools in place to help you with it, so you can control it, because you are not a victim of self-sabotage. You can totally control it. You just maybe don't have the tools yet to do that.
And you've never done it before. Exactly. It's new. It's something brand new. I've got a good example here. Quick. I just need to share it because it's actually really funny. So one of my clients, kept self-sabotaging, kept coming off plan. And we had a conversation and she said, how do I stop myself from doing it? I said, right. Because all of her reasons were really, once she said them, she felt a bit embarrassed by it, to admit the next day, I did it because of this. And, I know that's ridiculous. So I said to her, next time, text me that excuse or that reason before it happens. So when you feel it in your head, instantly tell me why you were going to come off plan. And she texted me saying, God, I'm at the vet, my cat had to have an injection. And I was just about to go to McDonald's. And I was like, right, read that back. And I did a voice note. And she was like, oh, that is so pathetic. And she was just like, how funny is that? That she was going to have a McDonald's because her cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But until she wrote it down and actually reread it, she was like, okay, I won't go to McDonald's.
Okay. I'll put it in. I don't think McDonald's or Ronald's going to help the cat in this situation.
It's not going to help the cat. No. And it was just an injection. She just had to pop out for 10 minutes and they were just going to do it quick. It was completely fine, but that's what she wanted to do. So yeah, but, just recognising it, talking about it. Yeah.
So Gem, let's go to our success of the week. Last week it was one of my lovely clients. This week we are handing over to you to hear from one of your lovely clients.
Yeah.
Inspire me, Gem.
Oh, am I allowed
all
to
of us?
I mean, she's happy for me to say her name. Am I allowed to say her name?
Of course, yeah. So, as long as they're happy, we all want to hear.
Because she's on Instagram and she is so inspirational. I love her to bits. So Laura, my lovely Laura, she's nearly lost 6 stone now. And she has been one of those clients that has tried many, many times before. This isn't her first rodeo. But she knew this time had to be different, very similar to you, Rach. And she's followed me and you for a long time. And she bit the bullet and started plan. She said, I just need everything that you tell me I'm going to do because I know I'm going to have to fight against all my natural urges of doing what I've done before. She had success, but she never worked up the steps before and she's never worked on her mindset. She's just been all or nothing and got it done. And I asked her to send me how she feels and she's put, if I reflect on who I am now, I never thought even this would be possible, yet here I am, a person who does my minimum 10,000 steps a day, every day as a non-negotiable. She's found confidence in sharing what she's doing and the reasons why with her friends and family. She's never done that before. It's always been a secret. Unlocking the
She's no longer having a illicit affair with the one-to-one diet.
I know. And she said, I'm literally a different Laura. And all of my family have said it. They're all really proud of her. It wasn't scary telling them what she was doing because actually the fact that she's told them and she stuck to it and they're really proud of her because she's absolutely smashing it. And what else? She said, she's finally ditched the all or nothing mindset and that consistency and thinking things through will get the results that I could only have dreamt of. It makes me emotional, when you're just like, I love you. But no, I know I can do it. And more importantly, I actually will. And I was like, yes, she's so positive. It's the way she put, you can hear how she's talking to herself. So I'm doing it. I'm smashing it. I'm a new person. And it's very different to, I'm going to try and do it different this time, or I know I'm going to find it hard. I'll text you if I struggle, or it's just, if you have that negative talk come in, it's going to creep in and just get worse and worse, whereas she's not letting any of that in.
There is a lot to be said about just having that mindset of I am doing it. I was speaking to one of my girls this week who was saying, she was talking about wanting to be another half a stone down in an X amount of time. And she was like, but I'm not putting pressure on myself. And I came back with, but you're doing it. Tell yourself it is happening. That's not putting hard pressure on yourself because you may get there and it may not get exactly what you want. I mean, what her goal was and considering everything else, she will do it. It's totally achievable. Yeah. And I was like, you have to tell yourself. And that's what Laura's done. She's been like, it is happening. Things are going to be different. Yeah. And you can see that confidence has shifted from the fact that she's speaking about it to other people as well. She's got so much confidence in what she's doing that it's I'm not going to have shame for this when I speak to other people. I'm going to let you in. And
she'd never done that before. She went to 5 concerts. So talking about doing things that don't involve food and drink, she had 5 concerts coming up in the first few months of me and her meeting. And I was like, right, you're going to have to work out a plan here. We're going to have to speak to your friends about it and you're going to have to be honest. And she just did it. She just went to the first one, said, I'm not eating and drinking. You guys do what you want. I've got my water and I've got my bar. Did the first one and they were like, oh, fair play. And then the second one happened, third one happened. She'd lost 2 stone. They're like, oh my God, you look amazing. And then they realised that what she was doing was worth it and that's what she wanted to do. And they had nothing to say about it apart from support her. So she learnt really early on because she just did it.
That is amazing. Do we know, is she happy to share, how she's done so far, since she's been on plan?
Yeah, she's lost nearly 6 stone now. Yeah, she's just under 6 stone.
Laura, well done.
Shared her photos. She's all over Insta, so she shared her, photos and stuff. She's actually on there as One-to-One Loza, I think, Lozza.
And she's always so lovely sharing the podcast and everything. But she is like just absolutely incredible. And Laura, we are so proud of you. Like absolutely amazing.
So
if you
just fun, taking it all in.
And if you are listening to this and you want to show Laura some love, put the little clapping emoji in the comments. Let's have some round of applause in the audience for her, because that is incredible. Honestly, I love these Slimmer Successes. They are just such a lovely addition. And remember, if you have a success you want to share, maybe you're not one of mine and Gem's clients, but you'd still want to share a success that you've had, the link for Diet Dilemmas and the Slimmer Successes are down in the show notes. So click it, submit it. You can be completely anonymous or you can share your details with us and we will love to hear from you. Gem, another episode, pretty much on time.
We're good at this now, aren't we?
We are getting so good at this. We're so good at this. I hope that you enjoyed the second edition this week and you are looking forward to even more episodes next week. To make sure that you do not miss out, make sure to subscribe, click the bell notification, and please do like and comment. Remember, we're putting a round of applause in the comments for our amazing Slimmer Success Laura this week, and her Instagram handle will also be down in the show notes so that you can go and follow her and share some love with her as well. But until next time, it is goodbye from me.
And bye from me.
And we will see you all again really soon.